Question number 3, Andrew Little.
Thank you, Mr Speaker. My question is to the Prime Minister. What actions, if any, is his government planning for New Zealanders about to celebrate Christmas who are among the growing number of unemployed or living in unhealthy rental housing or trying to buy their own home or waiting for vital surgery or needing a life-saving medicine?
And before I call the Prime Minister, my officers may advise this answer may be longer than normal. The Right Honourable Prime Minister.
Speaker, Mr Speaker, for people who can't find work and have no other means of support, the government intends to give them a fortnightly payment until they can get back on their feet again. In fact, the government plans to increase the payment next year in real terms for the first time since 1972. For people on low incomes and rental housing, the government intends to subsidise their accommodation costs or to provide them with social housing. It means that they only pay a quarter of their income in rent. For people trying to buy their first home, the government provides Home Start grants of up to $20,000 as well as welcome home loans. For people waiting for vital surgery, the government has increased the volume of publicly funded elective surgery this year by 5,000. Bringing the total increase to 50,000 since 2008. And for people needing medicines, I would tell them that the government has increased funding for Pharmac by $150 million a year, and that in almost all cases people do not pay more than $5 for a fully subsidised medicine. For the area of the member mentions, the government support totals billions of dollars each year.
Supplementary.
Supplementary question, Andrew Little.
In light of that comprehensive answer, after serving up gruel this year to that 15,000 extra unemployed New Zealanders, is he hoping to find a fix for the economy under the Christmas tree? Because clearly Bill English and Stephen Joyce have failed to perform.
The Right Honourable Prime Minister.
Well, Mr Speaker, we have an economy that's not only growing, but growing more jobs. We have, according to the Minister of Finance, the third highest employment rate in the OECD. The number of people working has gone up by 160,000 over the last 3 years. The number of people out of work has gone down by 19,000. Mr Speaker, we've got one of the highest participation rates in the world, but I suppose in a way the way to measure all this is, are people leaving New Zealand to go to Australia, or are they coming from Australia to live in New Zealand? And the answer is the latter, in droves.
Supplementary question, Andrew Little.
What is he doing to stop Nick the Grinch Smith from stealing the Kiwi dream of home ownership from more and more Auckland families as Auckland house prices rise 5 times faster than incomes?
Right Honourable Prime Minister.
Well, Mr Speaker, Nick Smith has done an outstanding job over the last while. And the fact that members opposite don't want to acknowledge it makes them the Grinch of Christmas, not Nick Smith, because this is a man who shepherded through special housing areas, cheaper building costs, reform of the RMA, the highest residential construction activity and consenting that we've seen in 11 years. Mr Speaker, this is a man who's seen KiwiSaver now provide up to $20,000 as a deposit for a couple. Mr Speaker, this is someone that's helping New Zealanders get into home.
Order. The answer's now quite long enough.
Supplementary.
Supplementary question, Andrew Little.
Will he stop playing Scrooge and reverse the $1.7 billion of real per-person cuts he's made to health, including a $117 million cut in real purchasing power to Pharmac's budget? And if not, why not?
The Right Honourable Prime
Minister.
Minister.
Let's get things right. The only cut that's come this year has been in David Cunliffe's ranking in the Labor opposition. And I'm sure we all seek to be Under-Secretary to the Leader on superannuation, but on the basis that we don't, Mr Speaker, health under this government has not only gone up enormously in terms of the funding, but maybe most importantly, the efficiency. This is a government that's seen more surgical operations being undertaken, more efficiency in the system, better health services for New Zealanders.
Supplementary.
Supplementary question, Andrew Little.
Now that 60% of Kiwis have voted with their dustbin on his flag referendum, and in the spirit of the season, will he stop wasting money on his pet project and use it to help needy children instead?
The Right Honourable Prime Minister.
Well, Mr Speaker, the member's right that we're drawing to a close of the first referendum, which, from what I can see, is tracking along the same path as postal referendums normally do. But Mr Speaker, I am going to go, and when I wake up on the morning of January the 1st of 2016, and I'm going to have 2 New Year's resolutions. The first one I'll keep secret because it's bound to be something like lose weight or whatever, and we don't like to post it. But number 2 will be, don't believe a single thing the Labor Party campaigns on, because that's your policy, Mr Little, to change the flag by referendum.
Supplementary.
Order. Supplementary question, Andrew Little.
Putting aside Labor's 1972 manifesto promises for now.
Order.
Will he give a Christmas present to the hundreds of thousands of Kiwi families living in cold, damp, unhealthy rentals by putting aside partisan politics, Dr Smith, and backing my bill to outlaw slum housing? And if not, why not?
The Right Honourable Prime Minister.
Well, it's not for me to give the member of the Leader of the Opposition a history lesson, but for a start off, in 1975, unlike today, Labor was good. They won the election under Norm Q. 72. In 1972, in 2014, Mr Speaker, in 2014, that was the policy of the Labor Party.
Order. There's no point in continuing with the answer because I don't think anybody can hear it. Order. Chris Farfoy, that is your last warning for this question time. Andrew Little, supplementary question.
Thank you, Mr Speaker. Now that the Serco turkeys are cooked, is he worried that Judith Collins is eyeing up his back with a carving knife?
The Right Honourable Prime Minister.
Mr Speaker, there's only one turkey in this house and I'm looking at him. Order. Yeah. Question number 4.